Hello traders, Cory Mitchell here with TradeThatSwing.com. I took a little bit of a long weekend, so doing the video on Monday night as opposed to on the weekend when I usually do it. But yeah, if you're wondering where this article is, it gets updated each week. You can go to stocks, stock market analysis, and trades, and it'll be, if you just click on that right there, it'll be on that page. Each week I go through the same process. And yeah, just looking at how aggressively I want to be trading. Right now, market conditions quite good. Current swing trading watch list will be updated very shortly. The best swing trading stocks list, high momentum stock names. These are patterns that are setting up. Lots of earnings plays out there right now. And the best swing trading stocks list, just high momentum lists. Those will be updated likely Tuesday evening. Let's get to the price action. Really strong. Have moved back up into these prior ranges on the S&P, their NASDAQ here, the S&P, the NYSE composite. This one broke in quite a while ago. Even had a little pullback and hold, had a little pullback and hold inside there. That's a good sign. And yeah, overall moving really well. Russell 2000 lagging behind, but even so, it is still higher swing highs, higher swing lows recently. Canadian index super strong, back to pretty much all-time highs. And Bitcoin, so this chart's from the weekend, and the only thing is we've had a little pop up here. Still overall moving well. What I'm watching here is just, how it acts around these all-time highs. And that's kind of, the only resistance at the moment. For if we're long already, then it's just kind of seeing how that acts. If it pops through, ideally for the longer term picture, I want to see a pop through and a pullback that holds this area and then starts moving up. That's really good. But right now we're in the short term uptrend after the pullback and seeing how it acts here. Gold miners and gold not of particular interest to me anymore, just because everything else is moving so well. So these are in a pullback. They may have a resurgence, but it doesn't matter anymore because there's so many stocks out there that are performing well that we don't need the gold stocks to perform well. It was nice while everything else was dropping. So like back here, March. Gold and gold stocks really strong. So they were, an area we could focus in on and maybe make some trades while the rest of the market wasn't doing so good. But now that everything else is doing okay, it's, you can trade them if you want. But right now they're in a pullback. They would not be of interest to me. If something sets up in them, great. But yeah, there's lots of other stuff to focus on. Market health indicators. So these might be tiny bit different. Actually, no, they look pretty much the same from the weekend, or as of Monday. The S&P moved up just marginally on Monday. So volume not important to me. This is basically a look at volatility. Lower movement consistent with uptrending periods, and high volatility, as we saw, more associated with downtrending periods. And we have made a shift here. We had some really big down moves, and we haven't had any in a long time. The big up moves, obviously not quite as worried about those, but it's more like when we have a 2% down day or more on the S&P 500, that just is a big red flag. And we have not had any of those. That would be this lower red line here, and we haven't even been close. This is the advanced decline line. Advancing stocks minus declining stocks is a cumulative number, and it has surged to all-time highs while the S&P is. This can be a leading indicator in this situation. It's not 100% accurate by any means, but it is, I would say, quite accurate. When we get a big divergence like this, moving to all-time highs on this indicator, usually the S&P 500 follows. That's not a huge thing at this point because we're only, a few percent away. But that also occurred back here. So it was signaling us back there that it was happening, and that was discussed in the prior video. Upside volume versus total volume, just looking for extreme values. We had one way back here. That was our last signal, and they tend to occur near market bottoms, and that one did pretty much a couple days after the bottom. And this is percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average. You can see this has changed dramatically from a few weeks ago. 78% of S&P 500 stocks are now above their 50-day moving average. 71% of all U.S. stocks are above their 50-day moving average. Back here, we were at only about 30%, 20%. Tougher to make money. So once it's made the turn, you know, maybe you were caught some in here, but back here, you know, we would have just been, if you kept going long, you would have kept getting punished. Much easier to make money. So since right around here, when these turned above the 50%, there's been a ton of opportunity. So yeah, maybe we missed out on a little bit of the early volatility, but I've been able to easily capitalize since. And by waiting for those signals, we also avoided all of this crap. What isn't covered on this is how are your setups working. I like to use my own trades as a feedback mechanism. Right now, things are going fantastic. So as long as, you know, conditions stay solid, this is not predictive. I'm simply looking at how are things doing right now, and if they're going well, I'm going to keep rolling with it. Yeah, enjoying the volatility. That's what I'm doing right now. With day trading, there's lots of day trading stocks out there. Looking to also gain exposure with the swing trades. Things are working, putting in capital as, you know, trades close. Either they're stopped out, or in this case more they're hitting targets or getting trailed out. Then move that capital in again. So being definitely more aggressive as conditions are have improved significantly. Bitcoin, next kind of area to watch is that 100K. Does it stall out and start rolling over, or does it break through and continue? Yeah, you can definitely check out, if you're interested in learning how to trade, there's the Complete Method Stock Swing Trading course. Covers multiple methods, when we should be trading, when we shouldn't be, when to get aggressive, when to not be, multiple strategies to look at. And then if you're more into the day trading, which is more, I'd say, not stable in the sense of, well, yeah, you just have action every day. There's always something that's moving. You can always pretty much day trade. So that's a nice thing that some people like, whereas the swing trading, it's more periods of action and inaction. We're in a period of action right now. If we go back, you know, a month ago, there wasn't much action. The market was declining. Maybe you could take some short trades, but it was, yeah, definitely a little bit quieter time with not as much setting up. I prefer to be more favoring the long side when I'm swing trading, so I might dabble in some shorts, but I'm going to be much more active when the market's good and things are flying up. That's where the big money's made. So you can check out those courses too if you're interested. And that is your stock market outlook for this week. Have a great trading week out there.